Hi everyone and welcome to this week's video. So today we're going to be talking about the best things to do in London as a student. So one thing about living in London, which I have been doing as a master's student for about a year now, is that it can be a really scary place to move and it can feel really daunting. Geographically, London is quite spread out and it's quite big, and sort of getting a hang of the city and sort of understanding how your life will actually be when you're a student here are going to be good things for you to like sort of realize and come to terms with, because we all see Instagram where everyone's like, all the influencers are eating out to dinner and going to the theater all the time, and while yes, that would be absolutely lovely, sometimes as a student you don't really have a lot of money, but you do have a lot of time. So there are things that you can do to really like make your experience really worthwhile, and we're going to talk about all of that. I just want to take a quick moment to talk about today's sponsor, Amber Students. So Amber is an online accommodation booking platform, and it connects students to housing across the globe. Let's say that you are a US student and you are looking to come study in the UK. With Amber, you can search for properties from America. You can search through them by price, location, amenities, and more. And when I came to London, I spent about 4 weeks searching for a room to rent, which was a bit of an inconvenient experience as I had just started school. My visa had come late, so I had about a day to sort of get used to the time change, unpack my things in a brand new place, brand new country. And with Amber, you can sort of ensure that when you get off that plane, if you don't have a family friend or someone like that, you can actually have a place to go and lay your head down at night. When I was searching for an apartment, it was quite literally a part-time job on top of my schoolwork. With scams targeting international student housing all the time, you can know that Amber is completely reliable. You can speak with agents 24/7 through their online portal, and they can even help you through the lengthy paperwork. Amber has over 600,000 beds available for students across the UK. So I urge you to start searching for your accommodation today by either clicking the link in the pinned comment or the description to start searching on Amber now. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening, and thanks to Amber. Let's get back to the video. So a couple things that you need to know and understand about London, because a lot of students, if they're international or if you're even from the UK or Europe, a lot of people move to London schools because of the reputation and stuff, and they haven't actually been to the city. Or you spent like a weekend here and you've done sort of like the central London bit. London is it's a really huge place. I would say to get most places, it's gonna be about an hour. To give you guys an example, like last Thursday, I went to a birthday party of a friend of mine from school, and to get to her house, it took me like an hour and 15 minutes. So she lives in like very far East London and I'm in West London. Just sort of keeping in mind like sort of the geographic politics of like having friends in the city is that it's going to be different than having like a normal campus feel, especially if you're going for grad school. Like you do really feel more like you're a city person and you're going to school. It's not so much that like I'm in school, I'm in university, my life, my friends, and school are all sort of the same thing. So the biggest thing that you can do to sort of like establish your success as a student is to learn the tube lines and the bus lines. And this does take time. Don't get me wrong. It can be really difficult. I think that actually it took me about 6 to 8 months to really feel like I had a super firm grasp on the underground. Until then, just use your phone, sort of understanding the different neighborhoods. And over time, like people, if you make friends or, if you're out dating, like you will experience different neighborhoods. It will just happen naturally. So don't be discouraged if you feel like you are spending all of your time where you live or where you go to school, because going on the tube adds up. Getting on the bus, it really adds up. So when you are picking a place to live, it is sort of important to really like where it is, because it just happens with life that you end up sort of just being where you are and making friends where you are. Hopefully, that would be good. So, okay, first thing I'm gonna say is being a university student in London, you can get involved in your university. That's a great way to, to start. I will actually say that in grad school, you're definitely less involved in the actual university bit. I decided to just join things within the city. I have great friends in my program. Like I actually couldn't have asked for more lovely people to be spending this year with. I plan on staying in London afterwards, and I wanted to make sure that I had a life outside of my school and outside of that. Facebook There is literally a Facebook group for everything. Yeah, I think that's the only thing people use Facebook for anymore is Facebook groups. You can find a place to live on Facebook. You can sell stuff on Facebook. You can make friends on Facebook. Anything, you can find it. So if you are struggling to make friends in this big city, literally so is everybody else. So don't feel bashful. Just join a Facebook group. The next thing is going to be this two meetup apps called Meetup and Clicks, which is like the click, you know, like from the book. It can take a minute to sort of like find people within these groups, but they are a really great way to sort of get out, do fun things in the city. Usually they revolve around something. I'm in a book club that was sort of created online. I have a really nice group of people that we get together and we talk about books, and it's super fun. I love it. Okay, so next we're gonna talk about culture. So there is genuinely so much. If you're coming to London for like English, for the arts, for theater, music, like it is just the perfect place for that because there is so much to see. You couldn't even get through it in a year's time. It's just, there's so much going on all the time, and it's one of my absolute favorite things about London. So one thing that I didn't know is that National Theatre has nights where they do £10 tickets for people under 25. I think you have to be 18 to 25 years old, but you can literally go to the nation's House of Theatre. Playhouse? I don't know what the nation's national, you can go to the National Theatre for £10, which is incredible. You can get great seats, see like really, you can see famous actors, you can see like really just amazing top tier shows. And I do believe they do something like this at the Royal Ballet and English National Opera, which I have been wanting to do for a long time because I haven't been. So I'll be looking into that. But most of these places, these like big institutions, they build things in for students, which is really cool. And I really love that about London. Okay, next we're gonna talk about the West End because that is something that I absolutely love about London is I love going to the theater. I love musicals. You can get great deals in London. Speaking as an American who went to New York a lot as a kid and we would go and see shows, the prices are just way better here in general to see the theater because like if you want to go see Wicked, for example, in New York, that's probably for a good seat. Even actually for not even a good seat, if you're sitting in mezzanine and you're sitting towards the back, that's probably going to be about a $200 ticket. Here for Wicked, you can probably find one for about, I think, £25 sometimes, especially if you do same day or if you book them like way in advance. I also use an app called Tix, Tix, to get discounted tickets, and they do discounts for London Theater Week. I think it's about like 2 to 3 times a year they hold up this discount. Another really wonderful thing about being a student is a flexible schedule. So not a lot of people are going to buy tickets to like a Tuesday matinee or, you know, to a Wednesday night show. And because you have a little bit of that extra time, extra freedom, it can be a really good way for you to snag up some of those opportunities that working people just don't have. So moving on from theater, after the theater, you may want to drink, but a lot of pubs and drink places, like I'm trying to think of like some big ones like Simmons or like Megan's, they do sort of like these 2-for-1 cocktail. A lot of people do 2-for-1 cocktails throughout the week for happy hour, which is a pretty good deal for London because it gets expensive, especially if you're going downtown. Like I always meet up with my friends sort of in central London if we're going to see a movie or something. And then usually we like to go to the pub afterwards. And when you go in downtown London, it gets really expensive. Also, like if you want to go out and like drink with your friends, you're a student, obviously this happens, is that finding a local pub can honestly be really cost effective. There are a couple pubs near me that are so cheap. Yes, are they the nicest of places? Not really. Are they dangerous? No, they're great, they're fine. And when you're a student, you know, sometimes you wanna go out and you wanna like go have a drink with friends, but you don't want it to break the bank because you don't have, you know, a ton of funds. So that's just a good example. Mercado is great for students. They have a happy hour, and if you show them your student ID, then I believe we get 20% off drinks as well. So something to keep in mind. Okay, museums. So I love museums. I love going to see art. I love going to see exhibits. A lot of the times, big museums that are free, so things such as like the V&A, the Tate, Tate Modern, the British Museum, they will have traveling exhibits. Actually, I don't think the British Museum has traveling exhibits. I don't know, that's the one I've been to the least. But I know things like the V&A and like the Tate Britain, they always have like some sort of like new exciting exhibit that's going on. And most of the time, if you're not a member, you do have to pay for entry. So you can get like a student card. So I have a student card for the Tate Modern, and I believe you get student discounts at the V&A too. But then a wonderful thing about London is that if you don't want to go to these specialized exhibits, you can also just go to these museums for free. You can literally spend days and days and days in the V&A and not see everything. There's just so much to see and absorb in these places that are just absolutely free. So if you're looking for something fun to do with a friend, I just think that's a really great way to spend an afternoon. Just my thought. Sit in the garden, at the V&A, sit in a cafe, have a coffee, have some lunch. It's a lovely place. Another one of my favorite galleries is the Saatchi, which is in Chelsea. The Wallace collection, which is also free, and then the Serpentine galleries in Hyde Park. There are about 2 of them, and I think there's 2 of them. They switch out their exhibits, so it's really fun to just go take a walk through Hyde Park and see what they have going on, and it's completely free. Yes, then another thing you can do is exploring like parks and neighborhoods. So, you know, just get on the train and like go check out a neighborhood. One neighborhood that I really want to go to that I haven't actually been to yet because it's so far from me is Hampstead, and I've heard that it's absolutely beautiful, but I haven't had the chance to go up there. But like if I have a free day on the weekend, like it'd just be a nice place to go walk around, see the town, maybe slip into a pub because it's getting chilly outside. Some of my favorite neighborhoods, Richmond is absolutely beautiful. I lived up there for about a month with a family friend, and it's just gorgeous. You can go through Richmond Park, which is just huge, and it goes on forever, and you can see deer and see the trees changing, go to a little cafe, have some tea, have a little treat. It's my favorite activity, going for a walk and having a little treat. Places like Clapham have like a really, you know, vibrant nightlife for young people. So if you're into like clubbing or whatever, that is where all the cool kids go. I am not really super big into that, but I have been, and it's something that everyone should do once. East London is sort of like a little bit more of like a boho vibe, I would say. Like a little, it's like where all the artsy people are. I actually went to an art opening with some girls from my book club there. It felt really like kind of funny. There was like free beer and we like walked around. We actually talked to one of the artists, but and it was free. So there's just like so many of these like little events, and I think it was like something that was on Facebook or Instagram advertised. So again, just check online, see what people are up to. There's always something random going on you can check out. Oh, and then going to different neighborhoods too, like for food. Brixton, I went with my friend who came from Edinburgh for a little bit, and we had one of the best like Sunday roasts there. It was Jamaican. Fantastic. And it wasn't that expensive, and it was really nice, just like random kind of night out, and we got to explore a new area. There you go. Also, cheap eats in London. There are so many cheap eats. If you're a foodie, this is definitely the place for you. And there are so many, just like type in like cheap eats London into Instagram, search the hashtag. I'm sure you're gonna find like a million accounts that are telling you cool places to go. There's so much, especially like sort of like street food, and there's so many, what's it called? Like food markets. It's so good. Also, those food markets can be really expensive too. It is London anyway. And then certain things to look into if you're a student. Rail card, you can get a student rail card. Number 2, getting a Tesco card. For international people, you're gonna wanna go to their website and say that you lost your card, because if you don't have an English phone, then it doesn't let you download the app. If you're in the process of getting a Tesco Club card, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful. I really would have loved to have known a lot of this information before I moved here. Please put any recommendations for students that you guys have down in the comments section, because sharing is caring. And you know what, Lisa? She says to have fun. Subscribe, like. That's it. Okay. Ba ba da ba 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 ba